Alright. We just hit the big red button. Alright. Welcome back, everybody. This is the Natives in America podcast, and you're listening to Sky Antone over here.
What up, what up?
Me. So tonight's episode, well, do you got any announcements, first of all?
Any announcements? No, I can think of.
Okay. So tonight, as per usual, Sky came to me with a topic. He said he wanted to record tonight. We're jumping ahead in the week, which I like to have, like a little bit of a cushion. So tonight's topic, we're going to say it right away. We're a minute in. Is Wizard of Oz. So we're going to talk about the Wizard of Oz tonight. And since Sky has brought his notes to the podcast here, I'm gonna let him kick it off with his fact sheet that he brought.
It's not really notes. I don't know how credible this website is today. But I wanted to have the podcast just because past couple episodes have been pretty reflective, and I just trying to keep that momentum going with, very ridiculous stuff from the past. And Wizard of Oz is very, what do you say, iconic?
Yeah.
Or,
yeah, we can say that for sure.
And I know there's always been a lot of theories and maybe stuff that wasn't true, but I think we probably could talk forever on Wizard of Oz, but I came across a article and it's pretty much talking about things that happened in the film that wouldn't happen today, just because when that's in the 60s.
Yeah. Yeah.
Probably.
I'm not good.
I'll look that up in a minute, but all I'm saying is there wasn't as much red tape,
Oh yeah, okay.
So they got away with some things that wouldn't fly in this day and age, and so.
Is this a numbered list?
Yeah. Should we start from 10 or should we start from 1 and go down to?
It's a funny thing. It seems always to be dealer's choice. How do they kind of present it? Is like the number one thing that wouldn't fly? Like.
Let's start with 10. Let's start with 10. But the 10 is the. I was like, whoa, this is crazy, but...
Alright, then start at 1.
Alright, let's start at 1 then.
I don't know.
Keep it saucy.
How about we just start? Alright, go.
We'll pick a number between 1 to 10. Nah, we're gonna start at 1.
Okay.
We're gonna start at 1. But when did you first watch this movie? Or what do you remember about first seeing?
I think in the beginning I didn't sit through the whole movie, so I just saw scenes, and I think the monkeys freaked me out.
Yeah, the monkeys are pretty freaky.
Well, those trees too. Those trees are menacing. The forest. Yeah. Okay.
The Witch was pretty freaky.
So let's say I was at the age where monkeys could be scary to me, and let's take it at that, because I was definitely a child when I first saw it. You know, that's kind of a funny thing, is when I watch movies that were made before me, but it's like I know them from very early on. It kind of blows my mind. It's like, wow, that's already been out for a while now.
Yeah.
And then then I'm born and I see it. Okay, sorry, back to your list, go.
Okay, so was it, was it sold to you, like, a pastime?
I think when we were talking before this, I said it was like a tradition.
Yeah.
And then, like, I want to say I watch it at least once a year. Not really so much lately, but growing up, I watched it a lot.
Mm.
What about you?
Well, my mom was really into it, and like a lot of films, like even like a Christmas Story, I would almost put it in a category with this, where it's just these, cool movies. But I was freaked out by just the Munchkins and having to go on this quest, and that was just sort of so the film starts off with them in Kansas, and then there's a wild ass storm or tornado. I can't remember which, but she ends up in, I don't remember the name of the place. Alright. So number one on this is the Scarecrow's gun.
Are you sure you've seen this movie?
Yes, I have.
Okay, alright, sorry, what was it?
Well, it's been a minute.
Oh, God. Alright, so what'd you say about the Scarecrow?
He had a gun.
Oh.
And, it says, because of sensitive nature of gun violence, movies rated PG or PG-13 must avoid the excessive use of firearms.
Really?
So surprising to identify this Scarecrow welding a gun in a harmless children's fantasy. Like, did he have a gun?
I'm going back, and all I can think of is when he's still on the farm. Yeah, he might have had a gun.
Yeah.
But I don't remember him having a gun during Dorothy's trip.
So it was in his back pocket area.
Wait, what?
Oh, wait, what are you saying?
Oh, wait a minute. No, I don't know. Does he pull it at the end on the wizard? Like, I feel like maybe he was...
I think that's when they're being attacked.
Damn it. I'm sitting here thinking about it like maybe somebody's listening to us going, it's that fucking scene. I can't believe have either of you motherfuckers seen this thing. You know what's funny? Alright, so they're saying, gun violence, is traumatic. We have both probably seen it a bunch of times and we don't remember a gun. So that goes to show you the kind of influence they're trying to push on us. Right there is
but the article is Would It Fly Today?
Yeah, but we got action movies. Maybe the PG-13 of today. Maybe.
What, doesn't need a gun? Or
no, I'm saying today's PG-13 might be a little more restrictive on guns. I can't remember the Scarecrow having a gun.
Huh.
But when I think about it, I'm like, he probably had it on the farm when they were still just her family.
Yeah, well, it's not like he's waving his gun around throughout the whole thing. You almost don't even notice he has it, so...
Yeah, all cocking it and shit, like, can you imagine?
Spinning it or cleaning it and...
dancing with it. Falling down on the ground.
That would have been a cool montage where he's teaching Dorothy how to shoot and...
Yes.
Have a little sideshow.
Yeah. Getting ready to fight the witch. Shooting those flying monkeys.
Like training. Like a training scene, in the 80s. They play that music and like training, doing all these obstacle courses.
Damn it.
Yeah. Well, they remake. Wait, did they? Let's not do too much deep diving into the spin-off, but did they do, I felt like there were some other spin-offs, but were they directly tied to this one?
I feel like there's a cartoon out there. But like a recent one.
So it is based on a book.
Yeah, definitely.
But I was reading that it took like 15 screenwriters and a bunch of directors to finally actually like come up with the correct version for Disney. Is it just? Oh man. I might not be Disney, but just.
Do you have your computer in front of you?
Yeah, I do.
Why don't you pull up the main like first or second like Google the movie or maybe the book and see what it says, because we're going through this so blind. Like, you're like, oh yeah, Disney movies.
I'm professional 101.
But is this a Disney movie? Let's start at the basics here. So first of all, I want to know when it was released, because we were saying like you said 60s, and I was like, sure.
Nah, it's not the 60s.
I was thinking
1939.
Holy smokes! I was thinking later. It was way earlier. That sounds about right. Like the video quality, and when they were doing the whole scene, like there was actual props, like old school. It was like they were filming a play.
Alfred Baum's 1900s children's fantasy novel, The Wizard of Oz.
A children's novel?
Yeah.
That's interesting. So when we were thinking books, I was thinking of I want to say it's Cinderella.
Oh.
And I'm freaking blanking on the author, but the version I read was by Anne Rice, I think it was. And it was dark, and it was like erotica.
Okay.
It was dirty.
So I think it's a lot of
it's a little more hardcore
versions of it. Yeah.
You know what's funny? Whenever I think back, like, all right, the generations that were before us, or even the people like we see on TV and like the kind of life they're living, and I always feel like, all right, they were the gentler, kinder, whatever, talking people, like, I guess more friendly, more neighborly, all that. Not shooting 2 holes through your front door when somebody rings the doorbell, but, you just check and you're excited. You have guests. And But like when I think about the movies, the movies and the books. They were freaking brutal and honest and beat the shit out of your kids type stuff. Obey your parents or you'll get your ass kicked.
Yeah.
So when you're calling it a children's book, like I kind of want to read it now and see where it falls and that kind of thinking.
Oh yeah.
Well, finish your list. What's the next one?
Alright. Number 2. Total's overpowering stardom. Oh yeah, I think he got like he made bank.
The dog?
Yeah. Dorothy's dog Toto.
Tell me he didn't make more than the Cowardly Lion, man. That'd be fucked up.
Well, he earned $125 per week, and the Munchkin actors earned only $100 per week.
Oh shit!
So he made $25 more than the Munchkin actors.
That's fucked up.
The manager got 50% of it.
Oh, half of the dog's money?
Yeah.
Well, ain't that a motherfucker? Wow. What's the dog gonna do with it? Did the dog owner get the other half? Like, is that how that works?
I'm assuming.
Does this dog go to the bank every day and check his balance?
It's possible. I don't know. Well, I mean, there's still not dog, but like animal celebrities, right?
Jesus.
Even more. But,
well, you say that, and I think Coco.
Coco?
Yeah.
I don't know, no.
The sign language gorilla. Yeah.
Well, I wonder how much he makes.
Yeah, but you're probably talking about like a Beverly Hills Chihuahua type deal. Or like that stupid Air Bud or something like that.
Yeah, like Lassie.
Yeah.
What? So, I don't even want to. The Munchkins are the little people, the actors.
Yeah.
The dog make more than them.
Well.
But that wouldn't happen now, right?
No. Well, all right. So. Oh, that's just got to be another kick in the teeth. I tried to rationalize it right now, like devil's advocate, and I was like, there's one dog getting paid, and then there was bunches of the I guess the lollipop guild, the actors.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a whole bunch of them, and they had to pay all of them. So maybe they were thinking pay them a little less because we're paying so many of them. But
yeah, I'm trying to rationalize.
Yeah, I'm trying to rationalize it, but that's just fucked up. Like a dog's making that money. Yeah, I'm just saying that's got to be a kick in the teeth.
No, I mean, I don't know the cost or the budget of anything in film, but like, this is an old ass film.
What do you think the equivalent is? They were making $90. Like, what do you think the equivalent of that is? You're saying $90, right? A week? Did you say a week or a day?
It was $100 a week.
The little people, the munchkins,
yeah.
Munchkins.
They earned $100 per week. The munchkin actors. That's what it says about it.
Damn. Alright, so $100 a week. What do you think the equivalent to that is, like, today? Because, I mean, if I got paid $1,000 in a day, I'd be ecstatic.
No, but that's a week.
Yeah,
so,
alright. So how much do you think somebody gets paid? I mean, they make billions, or millions and billions.
Yeah, well, I don't know, I guess it will be...
Well, I guess they wouldn't have been the stars. Judy Garland would have been the billions person.
I think they go into how much she made in this article. But I was going to say, like, and those are the laws, like, some Mexicans were they all doing choreography and, like, they all, like, jumping around and dancing, or were there some just kicking back, like, not really doing much? Like, you know, I guess if you had a big role and you had a couple lines. Yeah, maybe you get a little bit extra.
I'm sitting here trying to think about some of the lines, and all I hear is that voice they were using, the high-pitched voice.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, Toto, he was
a superstar, huh?
Yeah.
What a diva. Okay, alright, how about we move on from this, because it halfway hurts me in the feels.
Alright, number 3, using asbestos for snow.
Oh, shit.
It was a commonly used prop, or...
Asbestos.
Whatever.
Damn, they're just like, hey, this shit's so great, and...
It resembles snow, yeah.
Jesus.
So this minus, don't. I mean, I'm assuming they knew, they didn't know as much as they do now, or...
I think in the 30s, they thought it was the shit, like the miracle product.
Yeah, also like, this is a time when there's not a lot of guidelines and stuff, so...
Yeah.
I guess that's kind of the whole meaning of this article is sort of...
Yeah, well, I'll say this for that, like, it's, that shit definitely wouldn't fly.
Yeah.
Fucking pour some asbestos on Scarlett Johansson and see if that shit flies. Okay, moving on. Moving on.
You're right. The dangerous prosthetics. Oh, so I read this earlier that the original Tin Man.
Yeah.
They didn't make it. Whatever they were using, it was affecting his breathing.
No shit.
Pure aluminum in his lungs.
Damn.
Yeah, some people are like, man, I heard this. Like, yeah, so stuff like that. I mean, they had to get a different guy.
Do you think even in their paint of that time, like their face paint, do you think that had a little lead in it?
I think so.
Damn.
I mean, remember, like, mercury, and it's just, people are still using, like, mercury.
Shit.
I'm sure there's a lot of other chemicals that were just not tested and stuff.
I know there's mercury in this house. There's they got one of those analog cooler switches.
Oh,
it's definitely got it there. Well, the
thermometer.
Yeah. Well, the reason I bring it up is I think I've heard a story of like, I think it was like an old school gold member with 007, and they had those girls painted gold, and all day long, like they covered their entire skins with this chemical or this paint, and a lot of them got sick. Like they got poisoned by the makeup.
Damn.
Because they covered their whole bodies, and apparently, like I think it was like their body was choking, like as an organism, the skin.
Yeah.
And they got poisoned. Shit. Yeah. So I can imagine being stuffed into that can and trying to hop around all merrily. Okay. Anyway, yeah, like that sounds horrible. That shit definitely wouldn't fly.
Yeah.
Did I hear you say when I cut you off? Did you say that there was they had to replace the Tin Man?
Well, yeah, they got a different actor.
Because the other guy went down, or what?
Yeah. Well, whatever the material they try to use, it was
Jesus
caused them to have health issues.
Okay. Wow.
So yeah, some people suffered.
You know, I bet that one would still fly.
Someone died?
Well, maybe not getting poisoned by what they're doing, but I bet they still do dangerous shit like all the time.
Oh yeah.
Just for the shot. Like, you know, like when they do, like, I don't know if you ever watched those Prosthetics commercials.
Mm-hmm.
You know, or not commercials, damn it. The competition shows. They try to make something and they use molds and all these rubber things, and sometimes they're pretty heavy prosthetics. I feel like that we still push the limit there. Or I would hope, that it hasn't just gone all digital.
Yeah. I mean, I think the art of film, you want that look, you want that, I guess, to portray a real thing, or
yeah,
like a director has to, make something. I mean, even thinking about it, the magical world of Oz was just a guy's film, like, it's not like there's no digital green screen, nothing like that in the film. And it still sort of can hold up to what someone might watch now. So was it because they were getting away with, some of this, not getting away, but it was more, it wasn't an issue at the time. Or it kind of was. Actually number 5, is with Judy Garland. It's a probable start to Judy Garland's drug abuse.
Oh, shit.
So they had her taking pills.
What?
Because they wanted her to be slim.
Oh.
Pet pills, you control her appetite.
What? There you go. That's what we're talking about. Movie magic. They were, they were starving the actress.
Damn. She died at 47.
What? Due to what?
Did she have a heart attack?
I don't know. You got a computer in front of you.
No, she says she abruptly passed away, struggling with mental and societal pressures of early stardom.
Damn.
So she was...
That still goes on.
Substance abuse and alcoholism. I don't really know. Do you know any of her other films besides The Wizard of Oz?
I was just thinking that. You're going to have to pull up the movie list and name off a few.
I mean,
I'll give you like a ding, ding, ding. Now that I'm asking you to do all this, I'm going to unpack my laptop and get that shit going.
I got it right here. I was going to say, what we were talking about last week about, like the kids, sort of, or not even the kids, but just YouTube sort of being sort of production company.
Yeah.
You're able to produce films or whatever, podcast. Shows.
Or a podcast like ours.
Oh yeah.
On the Reservation Radio Network.
Yeah. But the price of a child star in this time, being put like in that place where, hey, this is, well, I mean, I know that they were putting a lot of thought into the film, they're making it, but that was like kind of all put on her. No, am I tripping? Like even now we're talking about it. But it's not the same without her. Right? Shadow Show. Judy Garland show.
Okay, so when I think about it, like just looking at her, her Photoshop, her what do they call it in the pros? Their face shot. What is it?
Headshot.
Headshots. And just looks old school. I don't think besides this show, like there's probably something on her list. Oh, there, I could have clicked something else there. Let me see here. I want to see her movie list because I'm curious now. Like, is there something else that I know her for? Because I definitely know her for freaking Wizard of Oz. Huh. Should have been a click away here. Here we go. Alright, meet me in St. Okay, I'm just looking at the photo art. Like, they're really, like, back in the day, like a movie I know that comes like this is, It Happened One Night. It's back in the day where they still used to paint the movie screen titles, like it's a billboard.
Yeah.
And, those are like old school black and whites, man. Like, they colorized the Wizard of Oz, didn't they? Like, people see it in color now, but wasn't it black and white to begin with?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm looking at all the pictures here. Not any one sticks out, but I can see. I think Girl Crazy. Wow, big time star in just those 45 years. A long list of movies here. Okay. No, I'd say I don't know her for anything. If I said her name to my mom, she could probably name a few, like right off the top of her head.
Yeah.
But this is stuff. None of it's popping out in my mind. I've actually heard of Girl Crazy, but that's like one in this long list of movies. Wow. Okay, moving on. What's the next one?
The next
Well, hold on before we go.
Well, so yeah.
Do you have any words to say about child stardom? Because I mean that, like I said, that still goes on. And, and fucking a lot of people turn to drugs at some point, whether they're partying or like they're having their good time, or they're hitting rock bottom.
Well, I think we're kind of going into the maybe not the pharmaceutical, but it seems like now in Hollywood there's a lot of pills.
Yeah.
And a lot of these kids.
I think about Mac Miller. He's pretty young.
Yeah, I mean
he's gone now.
They're taking the pills and they're getting those pills. But it's under a lot of pressure as well.
Yeah, what about Chris Farley?
Chris Farley?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and then that too, like.
I mean, he wasn't a kid actor, but.
No, but he was young.
Yeah, he was young. He hit it pretty hard.
Well, so maybe that's the. I don't want to say the sad part about it or the bittersweet part about it, but it's like this talent that you see, but then there's also, and I think maybe that's the tough part about the stardom and the what a person goes through, but like the demons that they have, and
the dark underbelly of Hollywood.
And it's not, and they're kind of held to the standard of what they're expected to do. And I mean, with Marley, maybe there was demons he couldn't handle. Yeah, no, he couldn't handle, but just. Yeah, where everybody's taking something. And I mean, even like talking about it, like we're all just sort of just living organisms in the world, but in the industry or the entertainment world, we put people on pedestals and we hold them to a certain standard, and I know sometimes the pressure is, you might need something to help you with that. So, young kids held to such a high standard. Maybe not always by themselves, but like the parents or a manager. I don't know. It's like, I don't know. I struggle too with that because, like you want kids, you want them to learn, but I guess you want them to enjoy it as well. And sometimes it's like not that easy. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm kind of. It's like. It's like the kids don't even realize the pressure that they're putting themselves under until they're under it. And. If they gotta take pills, or I mean, in this case, where someone's telling you to take pills, you gotta maintain your weight. That shouldn't happen now, but.
Have you seen, or do you know She's a big star right now. She was in she's in all the freaking movies. Have you seen Bridesmaids?
Yeah.
All right, you remember the lady that took like a bunch of dogs when they were giving them away at the wedding?
Yeah.
What's her name? I'm having to do that. No. No. Kristen Wiig was the main lady, but I'm saying that lady. Here, I'm looking it up. Melissa McCarthy. She was like the one that found out the air marshal, and like they wound up hooking up at the end, and they were like doing all this freaky shit. Anyway, she had a TV show called Mike and Marley. And
oh yeah, okay.
And like their whole thing was like they're both big people, you know, the both of them, the guy and her. They were both like large, and then at some point, I can't remember what she did it for or what like popped it off, but like she got fit and like I guess dieted and worked out a lot, and then she lost all this weight, and then they basically canceled the show because of it. They like, I want to say they tried to fire her for it, because that like changed the whole for the writers. It changed the whole feel of what they were writing. And, so I thought that was fucked up as hell. They couldn't write a way that happens, or...
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, something. It was her show, like, it was Mike and Molly. She was Molly.
It's kind of sad, though. I mean, to say, like, you're writing only for an overweight character, and when the actor actually chooses to be healthy or make some healthy decisions, then you're kind of almost, that's not, I don't know if that's body shaming, but that's definitely like being punished for making positive changes in your life. Damn.
So
that's the fucked up world we live in.
Well, obviously that's still going on. So like, some of this stuff, this list, it's
I'm pissed off right now.
Yeah. Well, it's something to get worked up about. There's, I mean that's. I'm gonna say it. That it's the world that's Hollywood. Like that's the business that they've created. It's all body. It's all image and body image, and some of that shit still flies. But like people, like superstars, like Melissa McCarthy, I hope that she got like a nice little settlement out of that.
Oh yeah.
You know, I mean, like she's savvy. I think I would hope, and I don't think she'd let that shit fly.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just more. It's like, you know, you're the fat character, you know, sort of.
I don't know.
I mean, that's I don't know, category or
well, I think at the time they were an underrepresented group in the audience for all these TV shows. So
yeah,
I enjoyed the show.
Yeah,
I'm not saying I watched it as like, oh, I'm a fat person, I'm gonna watch this, but I was like, you know what, like I enjoyed it. I enjoyed their chemistry. It was a good show.
That's a good banter. I mean, I wasn't a huge fan, no pun intended. But I remember talking to people like excited about when it was gonna come on, you know, or like the new episodes. But yeah, I think when it was on, there was just too many other shows on, and I couldn't just sit down and watch that one. But nah, I thought I thought it was pretty funny.
Yeah.
But it kind of reminded me of King of Queens. Didn't it?
Yeah.
You watched some?
No, I watched the King of Queens for a long time.
But do you see parallels?
Do I see parallels?
Yeah, with Mike and Marley.
Well, there's always I mean, they're playing, I want to say, typical relationship stuff.
Oh, okay.
Like there's a whole slew of relationship, people living their lives on a TV show. So yeah, I think all the shows, damn near all the shows, share that similarity. But I think there was a lot of like digs on Doug and Carrie, and yeah, they give him. I'm sure there was fucked up talks in the boardroom about his weight. Shit, but he's another person who's like a breakout star. Like he'll be fine.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Is that why you brought up John Candy?
I didn't bring up John Candy. What are you talking
about? I mean, Will Ferrell. I
didn't bring up Will Ferrell either.
Chris Farley, my bad.
Chris Farley. Oh, no, I brought him up because he was a bright star and everybody wanted him, and then he freaking, stardom. I don't know if it was stardom that went to him or if he just wanted to go hard like that all the time, but he died too young, and I bet him and all these guys, like, that do all the movies together, like all the movies with Adam Sandler, he'd be right there with them. I can't imagine.
Maybe even further.
Yeah, like what that world would have been. But yeah, like I never saw it, but I heard that like there were scene photos of like him laying there after it happened, and I could just see it in my head. But I've never seen him, but it's like, damn, like just went too hard. And I think whoever was with him like ran away or something. But yeah, that he went hard. He went heavy. I think we all loved him for it too. Like,
yeah.
That energy that he came with.
That conviction.
Yeah, the fat guy in a little coat, man.
Yeah. Oh man. Alright, well, let's finish off this list, man.
Moving on. And on that note,
maybe it still goes on, maybe not, but so number 6, it says a sexist wage gap. First time the Wizard of Oz had quite the ensemble, but it's obvious that the protagonist, Dorothy, carried the crux of the movie, be it through her monologues or the songs, and yet what surprisingly is that Judy Garland got paid less than her male co-stars.
Oh shit. Again, a kick in the teeth.
So...
But to get paid less than a dog, like, fuck that.
Garland got she got 500 every week, and then the Scarecrow, Tin Man got 3,000.
What?
For that same time.
Holy.
So.
Alright, now that is savagely fucked up. Wow.
I would say there's still some accuracy in that fact, but like, damn. That's not even half. That's like, what is that? 500 out of 8,000.
I don't even want to I don't want to do math. on the podcast.
No.
I want to put it out there. Let's see, half.
It's less than 50%.
Did you say they were made 5,000?
3,000.
3,000. Okay, damn. I want to say it was a third of the. No, because that would be 1,000. So half of a third is fucking. Oh my god.
1,500.
Yeah. Okay. Good job. 1.5. Yeah. So I want to say 15%.
Okay.
15% of what they made. That's pretty. But still, she made more than the dog. Let's say that. Like, I'm getting more and more pissed off for them. Like, that they made less than the dog. Like I'm trying to think. Like, the whole rationalization. I'm trying to think how many more Monksians there were than the rest of the actors. Because, like, we're talking maybe 10 characters, and then there's all the little people. Like, because there were some that had lines, some that were just dancing around, but they were all there mostly in the beginning, and it was to create this, like, city, this other world. A lot of them didn't have lines. Still, fuck that dog. I want. Alright, sorry. I don't want the dog people coming at it. I'm a dog person. I'll say that first. But, like, fuck that dog. He shouldn't be making more than that. I'm like, that's fucked up.
Well, remember he was splitting it with his manager, so.
Oh. Well, there you go. I bet the manager didn't get half of what they got, so there you go. Of course, the manager's gonna get a little something off the top.
Yeah. So
really, we're talking about the manager's pay here, and some dog trainer or something. I don't know how that works.
Well, I think he was the trainer.
All right, so there was a giant male-female wage gap. We're talking. What wasn't it 39? 1939?
Yeah.
Like, Jesus.
Yeah.
That's pretty fucking bad.
Kind of shows you the mindset of the world, of the country.
So for every dollar they made, she'd make 15 cents. Right? Am I...
You're right.
I feel like I'm doing the math wrong. I love that you brought me back. I'm a little ashamed because I generally say I like math, but man.
Yeah.
And when I'm like doing woodwork, I'm using fractions, but damn it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think
it's a fun equation, but yeah, I'm trying to figure it out.
This is like side stuff, but I want to say I was watching something about cyber attacks and how somebody attacked Hollywood and like hacked and released like contract values that actors were making on like a big movie like the Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Scarlett Johansson was like came out on top. Like she had way more money, but then Disney kind of screwed her out of a whole bunch. Like really screwed her out because they released it online, and she didn't get the money. Like she was supposed to get theater dollars and merchandising and all this other stuff, and by releasing it online, Disney robbed her of a whole bunch of money, or at least that's what the claim was. So, and I think in that report, she had made more than the other male actors, and I was just like, "Get it, girl! Like hell yeah, good for her, you know."
Yeah.
All right. I wanted to make this point earlier. Back to the Avengers and child stars. I don't really think of George. No, God, George Clooney. Oh my God, wrong guy. Hold on.
Are you a fan of
Robert Downey Jr.? Damn it, I'm blanking out tonight. Hold on, sorry. Robert Downey Jr. He hit the drugs hard, and then came back. Did what the people wanted, and now he's a superstar. So some people bounce back. All right. So I just wanted to make that note. Okay. What were you gonna say before I cut you off again?
I was gonna say, are you a fan of the Fast and the Furious films?
I was in the beginning.
You were in the beginning?
Yeah, I've lost track.
Yeah, we have. But why? What? Was it because there were so many you lost track and you just lost interest, or was there a certain thing about it that?
Well,
like, hey,
in the beginning, it was more about racing and showing off their cars. Now, they still kind of did that in these later movies, but then it became like, hey, how big an action movie can we make? And then they're just doing all this, just too much. It became more of an action movie than like a fast cars movie. I don't know, like, that was the feel I got in the first ones, the Fast and the Furious. Like, yeah, it was about the characters, the people, but they were selling the cars too. Like, I think its original success came about where they were focused on the cars.
Yeah.
Fucking nitrous oxide and rice burners and all that, like muscle cars, all the, like, even in the end, the final scene, they destroy a muscle car. And it's like they still held on to that for a long time, and then now like whenever I see like a new commercial and it's like Fast and the Furious 9 or Fast 9, Fast 5, it's all I see is like these big stunts. Like, yeah, they did stunts, but it was like, I don't know, it's an action movie now. It's no longer about cars. I just lost interest. What?
Alright, so...
How'd you feel about it?
I started to catch a pattern, and I just sort of kind of lost interest, and I kind of almost knew what to expect, but, the fact that, and that's why not why I brought it up, but why it was like they ran out of stuff to show with the cars, so they're throwing in all these other things to still have the trilogy or the saga, whatever, going. But Vin Diesel, and so I maybe I watched the first one, then and the second one I maybe watched, and I just stopped watching them. So I've never seen probably pretty much the core of the middle of it. But by chance I checked out the last one. And it was, I don't know, it was kind of like cringy, corny, but then just how out there the storyline is, you kind of, I still bought into it.
Yeah.
It was still on the ride with it. And, even though it was, so some of the not the effects, but just sort of how, I don't know, how they just sort of, it's just like, we've done these impossible stunts and going full speed, but yet the camera's going in slow motion and they're gazing in each other's eyes, and it's just sort of, it's just very corny, but yet it's like, I was hooked, and, well, hooked on this one, and so, but, there's a lot of cringy Vin Diesel lines, and, just family, and just love and trust, I don't know, just, it feels like that was always, it feels like that's kind of what keeps that saga going, is his voice.
Does he talk like this?
Yeah, but so I was watching an interview of him, and he does the voice for Groot. And is that Guardians of the Galaxy?
Yeah.
Yeah, he does Groot, and Groot only says one word, Groot. But he gets paid like, thousands of dollars, or I don't even know how much. I know he gets paid. He gets banked just to do that voice, but I don't know. I was thinking of this, but I totally don't know where I was going.
I don't think we're going to be able to call this episode just The Wizard of Oz. At this point, we're all over the board again.
Yeah, well, I was bringing up the costume.
Yeah.
Just because he was this actor, and not even an actor, like, he's just doing voice.
Yeah.
To where, you're making a lot of money. It's kind of like,
I wonder how much he made in comparison to like the other people there, like, because they're doing body stuff, they're doing fighting scenes, they're jumping around, some of them are on wires, like, all this shit's going on, and then the raccoon is animated, and the I don't know what you call Groot, the tree, the plant, the root, Groot, the Groot is animated, and I don't know, like, but the raccoon does all this talking and, like, is a bigger character, I think.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, like, like, he's not even saying full sentences.
I wonder how much he made. I don't know.
So number 7. Let's finish this.
Good job. There's a lot of numbers here. We already hit an hour here. We got to get on this. Okay, go.
The director slapped Judy Garland.
What?
I read this in another article before, and she was laughing. Remember, she was I think she was 16. She made this movie. She was a kid.
Yeah.
And she was I guess she couldn't stop giggling, and they were trying to shoot and be serious, and the actor pretty much just slapped her. So, like,
the manager,
the director.
The director.
Yeah.
Wow. I wonder if they got the scene, like, right after that, or if they had to, like, stop production.
Probably.
I wonder if the Cowardly Lion, like, got in and stepped in.
I got it. That's fine. Probably one of those times where, like, someone spanks their kid, and it's like, oh, you gotta be serious. Just because, they're trying to make this movie, and And they try to be serious about it, and these guys are just laughing, so backhands Judy Garland, and
damn.
And then suddenly everyone's like, oh shit, like, this is getting real, like, you know, let's just get this done.
I wonder if for the time it was like, yeah, slap that kid. She wouldn't shut up. Somebody get that kid in check. Slap her again. You know, like, I wonder if it were like, you know, that doesn't fly. Slapping a kid, that doesn't fly.
So maybe that's why it happened, was because, you know, no one was saying nothing.
Damn.
We said that she was on a strict diet. Chicken soup, black coffee, and 4 packs of cigarettes a day.
4?
In order to lose weight.
Did you say 4 packs of cigarettes a day? For the movie?
Yeah.
That goes to show you, like, how hard they were pushing cigarettes, too. Hey, lose weight, ladies. This will help you lose weight. Get that waist you're looking for. Smoke 4 packs of cigarettes a day. God damn.
A different time.
Black coffee, too. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, like, when you're talking about reading the novel, or the children's novel, they said there's a lot of racist and hateful mentality, particularly for Native Americans.
Wait, what is this about? What are you reading now?
The novel, the book. So there's a lot of stuff in the book that's not in the film, and I guess there's parts in the book where there's native in it.
What part? Does it get specific?
No. All it says is the best safety of the frontier settlements will be secured by total annihilation of the few remaining Indians. Why not the annihilation? Their glory has fled, their spirit broken, their manhood effaced. Better that they died than live miserable, wretches that they are. Reads one of the shocking edition editorials of 1890.
Wait. So, is that a direct quote from the book?
Yeah.
Because you just mentioned a review, I guess. That's some hardcore shit right there. Could you read it again?
For their best safety of the frontier settlements will be secured by total annihilation of the few remaining Indians. Why not annihilation? Their glory has fled, their spirits broken, their manhood effaced. Better that they died than live, the miserable wretches that they are. Reads one of the shocking editorials from 1890.
Wait, that part too. You're saying a shocking editorial?
Yeah.
That's where that came from?
Mm-hmm.
Talking about the book.
Mm-hmm. No, I think it's from the book.
What does one have to do with the other? Like, I'm even more curious about this book than ever. Like, that came up in the storytelling of
I think it's the fact that they used it as a book, and yet it had racism in it, opposed to like now where might not make a film that was based on a book that had a lot of, dark shit or hatred or hateful shit.
Crazy.
Yeah, no, I
didn't expect that.
I really gotta read that.
I would like to know more context, but that alone sounds like something like some hurtful history, like some shit that people would quote.
I'm wondering. So the film is an adaptation of the book, but I'm wondering if the book was based in Kansas, because remember they're in Kansas.
Yeah, that's kind of the grassy plains.
You want to do some research? Alright, man. Let's finish this journey.
Hold on now. I wanna... Theodore Roosevelt. Okay, so I just wanted to bring this up, just because, like, I feel like we have, I don't know, a duty to talk a little more into that. I think we talked more about the dog making more than the little people than we were talking about this.
Also, so there's a newspaper editorial that the author wrote that.
Well, he was pointing it out. So my dad, he kind of runs around the house every now and then, and he'll say, he says this quote all the time, and I think it kind of cracks him up, but at the same time, like, he's pointing out some fucked up shit. But like the quote he's always saying, and he says it in a weird voice, is the only good Indians are dead Indians.
Ooh.
And that was said by Theodore Roosevelt. So the president, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he says it all the time, and like that was like a big quote that went on into newspapers and got spread around and probably got said by a lot of people. And,
oh yeah.
And like that, I don't know, it's some hurtful shit. And when I was listening to you read the quote, like, it kind of seemed up there on that level, like propaganda, and I don't know.
It's freaky.
It's some freaky, hurtful shit that I didn't expect to come out of the Wizard of Oz. But like a lot of those older books and novels, or whatever, they're from that time. And like I was saying earlier, like it always seems like it was a nicer time. Like people were a little more polite to each other, but maybe they were just polite to people that had the same colored skin. Because here they are saying a lot of that is hurtful shit. And I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I think that paints a clearer picture of who these people were in the 30s. Well, not just then, but I'm just saying, like, that is more of a perspective snapshot in time of the mentality down there.
Yeah.
Versus what they were putting into the show, into the movie, or into the book. Like, I mean, you already read something out of the book. It was fucked up too. So, okay. Alright, before I would move on, I just want to say that quote was Theodore Roosevelt, and it was 1901. He said it in an office. Oh, no. He took office in 1901. Okay, never mind. Don't quote me. We already talked about this.
Yeah.
I'm terrible at this. Well, I don't know when he said the quote. I just know it was famous, and it basically went around the world, or across the U.S. in speeches and whatnot.
Well, I'll send you this article when we're done.
Yeah.
But I think it's also just kind of like I mean, it's sad to say, but a lot of the things that we might dissect is going to, put a realistic perspective on, how maybe the outside world views nativeness or indigenous or just sort of just
anyone who read that book.
Well, maybe anyone that that sort of believe these thoughts, or like that. I mean, a dead Indian. What did you say? Say that again.
Well, the way my dad says is the only good Indian is a dead Indian. The quote looks like it reads a little bit.
Yeah. But like,
there's the other one too. It's like kill the Indian, save the man, or something like that. And that has to do with all the boarding schools. They were like, hey, they started to kind of turn around their thinking and going, hey, why don't we put these people to work as like slave labor versus just killing every Indian. Like, the campaign changed a little bit, a tiny bit, and that's what it was. It was like, let's put them to work.
Well, that's kind of like punish them for knowing their culture.
Well, that was the result of that whole campaign. That and more. It's even affected me. Like, so.
I mean, so that's what confuses me, is because, or why I say freaky, is because these are, like you said, the president and like an author of a children's novel, sort of putting out these statements and saying these things to where now this stuff wouldn't fly, because, like, I guess why wouldn't it fly now opposed to, I guess it just seems like these guys are being, I guess at the end I can say at least they're being truthful and honest with how they feel. I mean, even though it's dark and fucked up and scary, but yet now where someone can't, not to say they can't be that honest, or hopefully that mentality is no longer there, but if it's still there, somebody would have put that out there, would they? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, yeah. It was a widely shared belief.
Yeah.
And damn, it's like, damn, I never would have associated the two, obviously, because I didn't read the book. And then it kind of hurts that I've watched the movie so many times. It's like I never got that feeling from the book. Like, they cut all that out. But damn, it's part of it. It's part of the history. It sucks. This shit just got dark. I'm kind of curious. What's after that on the list?
Oh, so Margaret Hamilton's burns down. She played the Wicked Witch of the West.
She what?
And she played the Wicked Witch of the West. No, I can't say that. Wicked Witch of the West. And she got burned. She had second-degree burns on her face and third-degree burns on her hand when she went to when they were doing the scene with the Munchkin Land where she disappeared in the smoke.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, she got burned from that. And she had to be out for like 6 weeks. And
God bless.
She wouldn't sue because if she did, she thought that they would, like, she would never get any other roles and stuff, so she kind of just, put up with it, which is kind of, I don't know, it's kind of weird now in this time. I mean, it feels like anyone can sue anybody if they make a bad decision,
Yeah.
But in this time where, she has cause to sue them, but yet it's not going to help her out in the future. Opposed to, like, somebody suing somebody and just making bank and just being like, alright, I'm good. Like, I don't know, but I was watching this documentary yesterday about this brawl that happened in a basketball game, and this guy got, he didn't really get hit, but he was saying like he got hit. And it was like, I'm going to sue you. And it just seems like back then it wasn't that easy to just, like, say that to somebody,
Yeah, right.
So, that's number 9.
Okay. This 10 better be a doozy, man. you set it up here. I want to hear it.
What?
Number 10, let's hear it.
Number 10? Okay. Number 10. Molestation by the Munchkins.
Oh my God.
So this is why I was saying I don't know if we should start the countdown with this one, because they said that in Judy Garland's husband's memoirs, he said that she would tell him that the Munchkins would, like, stick their hand up her dress, and in order to kind of sell his book, that he kind of, like, was dramatic about it.
Oh shit.
So they weren't really sure how true that was, but
yeah.
They did say that they would drink a lot. And so sometimes they would just kind of be unpleasant. But I'm pretty sure some of them were, like, dirty guys. So it's kind of like you didn't know which was true. I don't think they were innocent, but yeah, the guy that wrote that might have just been kind of stretching the truth just to make his book a little exciting. But yeah, I never heard that before.
Yeah, I haven't either.
So, I mean, for sure that wouldn't happen now, or at least, I mean, that's kind of the scary part about child actors. What is that one guy's name? It's not Cory.
What guy?
He was a child actor in the 80s.
Cory Feldman?
Yeah, Cory Feldman.
And Corey Haim.
They were both, like, in movies together, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it just seemed like, I don't know, like they're not get ignored, but it, like, their career wasn't as glamorous.
Maybe
it was in their time, but as they got older, it almost seemed like I don't know, like they weren't. This is like Macaulay Culkin, you know, like you still you just imagine us as a young kid, but yet they're gonna grow up. I don't know where I'm going with that. All I know is that it feels like that pressure or expectation that kids are put under when they're in film or doing sitcom work, you know, that might cause them to do some substance, you know. I don't know, but like it's probable that, you know, that this might happen. But who's to say it's still not happening now with kids in Hollywood and stuff like that? Or maybe people being taken advantage of?
Yeah.
And the broader picture?
So, tell me this. You read this article and then came and said you wanted to talk about it, right? Is that the order that this worked, or did you hear it and then we're going through it now?
Yeah, no, I skimmed through it. But like the one with Judy Garland being slapped by the director, I read that in another article. And so I thought it would be cool to find another article that had all these other, because I remember the one about one of the Munchkins hanging himself, and you can see him in the.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that was not true, but like it was still something that people said that was like, oh shit, like, is that real?
It kind of looked like it.
Yeah, it did. But I didn't buy it. But I mean, I guess. Have you ever watched 3 Minute a Baby?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Have you seen where they say that ghost is in the window?
Oh no.
And apparently it was like they're saying it was a kid that died in that building where they shot the film.
Jesus.
And there's a part where they put like a kid's sort of silhouette in the window. And then he's there and he's not there.
Wow.
Like I read about it and I saw it, but then later on I found out. Well, at least so they said it was a hoax, but yeah. I mean, it's like you don't really know where to. I think that's what's crazy too now about the world is like we get information from everywhere.
Yeah, that's a huge thing. So part of me wants to say this movie's been around so long, they're gonna find all this stuff. Like there's, it's being watched all this time. Sooner or later, somebody's gonna see the feet, or the story's gonna come out that hey, this guy hung himself. It's been around so long, it's been poked at and prodded, and all these things get found, And then I'm thinking like, all right, other movies of the time that maybe got famous and maybe have been around this whole time, like I wonder if similar things have come up about them, like, these dark undertones. Because like they rewrite movies and books all the time to try to cover up the way it was actually written.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know.
Take out certain details.
Yeah, just to, soften the blow a little bit. But I guess what I'm getting is that, like, again, this too is what kind of paints a picture of the people of the time. It's like somebody's taking the temperature of how people feel about Native Americans at the time, or little people, or actors and actresses, like that.
Yeah.
Just her getting the pay wage gap, it would start a wildfire. And then, and that's like a male-female argument that we could talk about the rest of the night, for the rest of the year. People do that all the time. So...
Well, she's the star of the whole movie.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Again, the pressure.
Maybe of that time, the director being of a certain age and her being a kid, it was like, what? Yeah, there you go. Like it wasn't like, maybe it wasn't even like a fit of rage. It was just like, hey, let's pause this real quick. Let me correct this child, and then boom, put the smack down on her. So who knows? But like, I'll definitely give you this, or the article. This is a lot more new questions are coming to mind over all this, and again, it kind of makes me curious enough to try and read the book, or at least look for that quote that you brought up, or the article brought up, and I don't know, like it kind of turns my mood about the movie and the book and whatever. Like, it's like, wow, there's so much more going on, and like, now that I know this, I can't take that away. If I ever start to watch it again, I'm going to be wondering where she got slapped. If those feet really are one of the little people killing themselves, I'm going to be looking for the witch to get burned, It definitely changed my view of the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
I guess that's the whole point of that article. Like, but as far as the whole, like, things that wouldn't fly nowadays that did in the past, that's BS. Like, I would say about half the stuff you mentioned happens all the time, and still goes on. Like, all these people are getting taken down in Hollywood because of the things they've done.
Oh yeah,
and it's that type of shit. Like, people get shit canned over this, and even worse, they get their history erased. Kind of like Roseanne for a while, like it's hardcore. It's dog eat dog out there, and they'll pull your card. The people, the masses, and I'll put this out on top of that, is that all these people who answer quizzes or whatever, like, they don't represent everybody. They're just the ones willing to take the quiz or the poll. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of these racy remarks and like the way people feel when they vote, like what way they vote. Well, it's like you said, we're getting information from everywhere. Like, everybody's leaning every which way, and it's all crazy. And I don't know. I don't know where I was going there. I'm saying.
You're saying I shouldn't have brought this to your attention.
I'm saying I need to back out of this room immediately. I gotta hit the red button. I'm gone. I'm saying this shit's still going on, and it's pretty fucked up, and it's kind of like just swept under the rug. People are getting canceled. People are getting, I don't know. I think, again, I think I've said this before, I think our society's getting kind of out of hand. Getting too big for his britches, and in the talk we did about To Be Honest and all that, like we were talking about To Be Honest, like
yeah,
we've gone a little far, but like I do like that this time people like Scarlett Johansson's getting paid. One of the best actors I know is Peter Dinklage, you know, little guy, and small. He's got a small body, but he's got a huge presence. He's incredible, and yeah, it's an eye-opener, this whole list and these things that have gone on, but like I said, I think half of the list definitely wouldn't fly, like poisoning your actresses, but they do. And then there's like the take the pills to stay skinny. People get fired over that shit nowadays, and kids go to drugs in stardom. I guess, you know, everybody does, whether they're stardom or not, but when you can afford to go hard, they tend to go hard, you know? And, the freaking male-female argument rages on. But like I said, you know, God bless Scarlett Johansson and all the other big-time actresses out there that are getting there.
Yeah.
You know? Good for them. Good for them. Go out and get it. Get paid more, you know? And, shit. I think what this pointed out was just a lot of this bad shit's going on, but I'm still kind of grateful for the wins. And I think I'm gonna shit can Wizard of Oz off my list. I think at some point, as like a trip thing, maybe tied into Pink Floyd, my son's gonna have to watch this thing with me at some point, probably when he's a little older.
Yeah.
And at some point, maybe I'll have the talk with him when he starts looking into the world. You know, what's really going on versus Hollywood imagery. And, shit, I don't know, man. My perspective has definitely changed after this.
Yeah. And
you found me some more native propaganda that I want to look into and talk shit about at some point.
Well, I think it's coming not reality, but like, you know, some of the what they call the classics, the authors of these books that, you know, people are cherish and part of the education, and like some of these guys are racist as fuck, you know, like they didn't like us, like they didn't want us, you know, like they wanted us gone, you know. So I think that's disheartening, or just sort of like you could read a piece of work and like, oh man, this is good writing, and then find out that the person that wrote it hates your kind, and it's just like, I don't know. Yeah. It's a loss, because I don't know. It's not like I can take back my opinion. Like, oh man, like, I'm still. They can't take that away. I don't know if you ever heard of the education of, was it Little Tree? Ever heard that?
I don't think so. It sounds familiar, but I don't think so.
Yeah. There's a book about this native kid that I think it goes to stay with his grandparents. But I was so pissed off because the author wasn't native, he wrote under a different name, and like he was talking about being Native. Oh, yeah. And like he wrote under a different name, but like reading the book, like you actually get the feel that this guy is, Native, but he's not. And that bothered me. Because it was almost like I'm gonna pretend to be Native so that I can tell a Native story. And I have to almost lie about it because I know that it's not true. But I can still sell it.
So I'm thinking about art right now, and like writing as an art, movies as an art, directing as an art, like all these. If one of your favorite artists or paintings, say you love a painting that you've been looking at all your life, and then you find out all the artist is a fucking sadistic, racist piece of shit, whatever.
Yeah.
Does that change the art for you? Does that?
Yeah.
Because I think about writing as, like, I would rather the writing stay as horrible as it was than them try to hide it, than the people trying to hide it.
Yeah.
And rewrite it, like, it wasn't like this. I'd rather keep the shit so that we remember how shitty it was. And that it's still shitty. We have something to compare to today. When we hear something similar, we still know it's shitty. So I don't know. This is one of those things where I'm kind of. I wanted to mention that when I hear shit like what you quoted, the whole line about I don't know what it said, the plains dwellers or the wretches. They use the word wretches.
Yeah. Annihilation.
And annihilation. And I've heard all these words before. And I've seen it in other cultures, not just on natives, but it was like whenever I hear it geared towards natives, like I hear it all the time. I hear it all the time geared towards everybody in all directions, some more than others. But whenever I hear it about natives, my eyes kind of glaze over. And I just kind of I steady myself and I go, alright, this is going to be horrible. Like I'm already ready for it to be horrible because that's all I've ever really hear is the horrible. And when you were reading that quote and I had you read it again, it's one of those things. It was just like, I wonder who's writing this. The person who wrote this, the times they lived in, and the beliefs of the general population, whether you're native, non-native, whatever, like what you actually think, and in general, it's hurtful.
Yeah,
it's almost like I've got this wound that I learned about. I found it. I found out at some certain age, the history comes out. And it's not ever the full history because we didn't write it, and then the people who experienced it didn't write it. It was the people who, came out on top, wrote it, and then we hear it and read it, and it kind of shapes our thoughts about it and our feelings about it, and it's hurtful So it's like when we finally, as a child, when you learn about these things, boom, you got a wound, it hurts. It's like an open wound. And you would think over time, after all these time, centuries, whatever, it would be old news. It would heal this wound. But it doesn't ever heal because it gets opened up. It gets reopened every time you either see some imagery like that or you hear some words like that. Now this person was doing it for a story, for a book, for fame or money or whatever. They did it. Probably weren't learning about it firsthand, but there they are telling a story, and it becomes part of the history. And the wound that we carry doesn't ever heal. It gets reopened every time I hear some kind of stupid argument or a joke or whatever. It's like, here we go. I steady myself and go, here we go. This is going to be awful.
Yeah.
Probably, maybe it's not always horrible, but it's like, all right, this is probably going to be horrible. So I steady myself, and then all right, let's hear it. Lay it on me. Go for it. Let's hear it. And to hear that quote, it was like, gotta rip the old scab off and feel it again. So I have that feeling now around this movie, and I'm going to be aware of it. And I'm glad my eyes were open to it. I'm glad you brought it on, that we could talk about it. But yeah, it's another thing going into the hurt bank. It's just...
Yeah. Well, I mean, and that wasn't my plan to hurt you. But I think it was this isn't a film engraved in the American culture.
Yeah.
Where
the world.
Who doesn't know Wizard of Oz? But they know the film.
Yeah, the
adaptation.
Yeah.
But there's some shit that's not in the movie that that is still connected to these characters that were written about, that are sort of the power of, I don't want to say storytelling, but just kind of the power of media, but also kind of how
suggestion.
Yeah, but just kind of how, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to say no one's publicly hating on natives now, because that's not true. But it just seems like now mainstream, it's protecting the natives, but it's almost not even sincere. It's almost just this is the right thing to do versus in this time where being open about your hatred for them is almost someone might have read that and maybe was empowered, that might have continued someone's thought process of how they feel about natives in this country. I always remember hearing stories from my grandma or my mom where they went somewhere, they went to a different town or a different state, and suddenly they weren't treated fairly, or they were given them that look, and not to say that that's went away, but it's definitely not as prevalent, So, or maybe because
it's
we're on the res, and we're around, you know, a lot of people we know, but going somewhere else off the Reds, you know, it might be a different experience.
Yeah.
So, I guess how does, you know, this one person's ideology still affect the mass of the country? Does it? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But it would be definitely something to do some more research on about, you know, why is it that the Wizard of Oz is so attention grabbing, you know?
Mm.
You know, why is the story of it so intriguing?
We reference it a lot, like, oh, this is, you know, you're not in Kansas anymore. It's definitely lasted, and I was thinking, I want to reiterate that I didn't get any kind of pro-gun lobbyist movement from the movie, and I definitely didn't get any like, oh, these woe's me Indians, this annihilated people. I didn't get that from the movie. Mm-hmm. In fact, I had never thought it would have any connection to that, but it does, and so I just want to say I never got that kind of feeling from the movie.
Yeah.
But you know, it's out there and it exists. I think it has to be said that any kind of like open hatred for natives or whatever, like it kind of comes out in jokes, and the rest of like the really hardcore, you know, nothing changed type stuff is swept under the rug.
Yeah.
Like all that was Standing Rock. The only reason a lot of people even heard about it was because people were there with their cell phones. The media, I think, showed up once, did a 2-second bit, and then hauled ass the hell out of there. And then nobody covered it after that. And it was still going on. It was still going on, still is, and it's not covered.
Yeah.
Unless it's by natives, you know, holding their phones up, or native news sharing it. So it's kind of like it's all around us. You just don't hear it as much in mainstream media. It's like the media and the government basically says, all right, this is the enemy, and this is what everybody should focus on now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's not natives right now, and it may never be, you know.
Yeah.
Except for maybe in the times where they used to say shit like the only good Indian's a dead Indian. You know what I mean? So,
I mean,
it's out there. It's alive. It's very much alive.
Yeah. I guess it's I think like even the military, like a lot of natives, you know, fight for the country. You know, they're participating in protecting the country. So
yeah. I've even read that per capita, the native race in America has a big chunk in enlistment. It's like per capita.
Wow.
And I thought that was huge, including a lot of my relatives.
Yeah.
Even my cousins that are, you know, young, they're still young today in the new war. So it's like there's natives fighting too. To, you know, protect the land. And maybe even stop genocide in other places.
Yeah.
the genocide that, it never stops.
Or the misconception. Because that's what I think happened is, like, they thought that they were going to wipe natives off of the planet. Yeah. I mean, off of the continent, and it was just going to be...
Yeah, that was the plan.
American living in... That's not our plan, and so now there's this... have you got to watch any of the episodes of the Reservation Dogs on,
No, but I'm seeing advertisements everywhere, which I love.
So getting to watch this, this new sitcom, and there's native actors, actresses. It's on a reservation, and it's based on, this takes place on a reservation. So there's this is not an average show.
Yeah.
And so it's pretty, it's almost like the smoke signal style.
Yeah.
Everyone in the film's native, and everyone that made it was native. I don't know all the ins and outs of who wrote and who directed the Reservation Dogs, but it's definitely a step in that direction to where we're telling our own stories, and at least it feels that way.
Yeah, I like
that. That wasn't always an option in the world and in entertainment and in film, to where we're slowly getting our foot in the door. Smoke signals came out a long time ago, and yet it still feels like we still have a lot of ways to go. So we're getting that full, maybe that representation, to where, because it's like, it still feels like we're not being represented. There's still that plan of getting rid of us, So to have a show where there's natives in it, it's almost like can't get rid of us. We're on TV too.
Yeah, I don't think the agenda right now is so much getting rid of us anymore, but more like still careless and carefree about where we stand. There's a secondary citizen type deal. We're treated less than. I've seen plenty of comparisons, with water protectors and activists fighting against a cause, fighting for a cause that's worthwhile, that affects not only natives, but anybody who lives near these pipelines and drinks the water from the ground. A lot of people don't see it that way. They're just these pesky natives, they're getting in the way again.
Yeah. In the way of our plans.
Yeah. Get in the way of our money, getting in the way of our expansion, getting in the way of progress, getting in the way of manifest destiny, it's the old story that I've heard too many times. And that's what I was talking about, the painful side of it. It's I do like seeing us on television. I do like seeing us on the mainstream, in the light. That's all good publicity, I think, or just getting a seat at the table, or maybe probably getting scraps from the table. I don't know how it'll turn out. Like, I hope it does fantastically.
Yeah.
I might have to get Hulu just to watch it. We'll see. It's just I don't know where I was going with that. Once again, I don't know where I was going. The point, I've lost my point. The point is
that
a lot of really bad stuff still hasn't changed. Both in the music industry or movie industry and the business of people. Males, females, small and tall.
Well, the country.
Yeah.
The government. The history of the people.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, the collective history.
Yeah.
All of us. We all share in this history.
I like that.
Yeah.
So maybe it's natives taking ownership of their identity in film, but also recognizing the behind-the-scenes hatred of what film might have been, or what media, or I don't know. It's like
it's the stereotype and the image.
Yeah.
I think showing, like, I haven't seen it, but it sounds like they're trying to tell a native story, a reservation life story, just like we are here, and I like that. It changes the narrative. I'm kind of hopeful that people will relate. Stop seeing the brown and just start seeing the story. Or whatever color native you are. Stop seeing your skin color and see, oh, that looks like my crazy cousin that would rob a fucking chip truck. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
I hope whatever stories they are telling, it works on the narrative. And finally, hopefully, it will be told from the side of a native, from a native, in a native's voice, about natives. And I think by comparison of the status quo, what's been going on in storytelling and history telling, more to the point, I'm happy to see this. This being natives talking about natives by natives.
Yeah. So
I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's what this was all about. But yeah, maybe not sweeping the darkness under the rug in your mind, because I think that's where, like, we could have been naive to any of this and just maybe not cared, or maybe chose not to believe it and just say, like, Wizard of Oz is awesome, and there's no negative thing attached to it. You know, like, I think there's that mentality sometimes where we want to bypass the darkness because it's almost too much to digest. And we're willing to, you know, put our history on the back burner or our existence on the side because we're trying to get the American dream as well, or, you know, trying to be successful in that realm. And we'll sweep that darkness under the rug in our head. Like, it won't be an issue because, hey, it's paying the bills, or, hey, I'm employed, or I guess for whatever reason you're putting aside, you know, how you feel, you know, only to not deal with something that's pretty heavy. But then I think we do that easily to where, you know, if we didn't talk about it or we didn't address it, then, you know, it would still be there. It would still be something, you know, that happened, that they felt this way, or they wrote about it in this, like they say, bravely and confidently, like, you know, like my existence didn't matter. So, I don't know, it's almost some psychological self-esteem shit, you know, to where belittling yourself because in this person's point of view, they want you dead. You know what I mean? And we ignore that because we just want to get to the work. To be a part of the production, to be a part of the discussion. I don't know. To talk about the lighter parts, not the heavy parts. Like, I don't know. Sometimes we bite our tongue too much. I guess maybe that's the takeaway from this is to not have the need to bite your tongue when you know there's been some wrongdoing and it needs to be addressed. Because I think sometimes you get put in a position to where you won't bring up anything because it's hard to deal with, or there's a past to it that, you know, requires you to do some research and, you know, to find out some heavy shit that you might have just been kind of dodging.
Yeah. Well, that's the point here too. It's to raise questions.
Yeah, for sure.
Kind of help people think for themselves.
Yeah.
You know, that's maybe it wasn't. Well, yeah, I guess it was. I want to say in the beginning of starting a podcast and then starting this with you, it was to talk about issues like this. It was to have an outlet for the things that bother me or the things that I think about. You know, and it's not all native stuff. A lot of times it goes full world, human experience type stuff.
Yeah.
But even in telling our own story, we're talking about the human experience as well. I think saying like as long we need to talk about the issues, because if they're not talked about, they can be forgotten. And I think for people to read shit like that in that book, for us to talk about it, and for people, and I'm saying maybe kids growing up, either listening to our podcast, watching Reservoir Dogs, drinking coffee from a business that's native owned, eating the food, living the culture, you know, all this. We keep that memory alive, and we're addressing it. You know, for better or worse, we're addressing it and making sure that the next people remember, and maybe have a better chance at understanding it than we had. You know, because we were told this, and the reality was that. You know, like and being able to tell our stories and tell other people's stories, and to discuss the stories surrounding the Wizard of Oz, and you know, the narrative, the president talking shit, and the stereotype. We're addressing it, and I think for better or worse, we're doing more good than harm. And I think it's important, whether it's funny or sad or, you know, messed up, that we talk about it. So, like, I think. Yeah. I'm glad the article covered it. I'm glad you brought it up. I'm glad we said what we had to say. And I'm surprised I was thinking this would go a totally different direction when you said, let's talk about the Wizard of Oz. But I'm glad where we're at right now. I could push the red button now. Like it's I feel like we've got some. I think we've done. I think we've done our job today.
Hard day's work, man.
I'm sweating. Yeah. Any I mean, I think we both kind of said our last words already, but do you have anything else to say? Maybe a new perspective on the Wizard of Oz, or native issues, whatever. Any last? I
think it's like just, you know, we're always looking for that native representation in the world. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of what we're talking about. Like film was such a huge part of, you know, I want to say society or the culture of the country or the world, but you know, natives are trying. Let's get a piece of that too. Mm-hmm. Not just finance, but like the storytelling and and we've been doing storytelling for years too. Yeah. I mean, we're not. It's not a foreign concept, so
yeah.
Yeah, I guess there's still a lot more time for native representation, and just, you know, hopefully, you know, people are inspired to go that route, you know.
Yeah, I hope we're inspiring people to ask more questions, and maybe to look a little deeper.
Yeah,
into the stories they hear.
Yeah. Who wrote the stuff you're watching, you know?
Yeah.
Or what are they thinking? What was their intention?
Yeah. And consider the source.
Yeah.
Well, that is what you just said was.
Who
wrote it? What was their intention?
I mean, and I think it's also doing your research on how Hollywood works, you know?
Yeah.
You know, you got the people paying for the production, and they got their wants and needs, and a certain way of what they're trying to portray.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's a lot that goes into it, and you know, kind of looking at it that way, it's like, who's really in charge?
I hope we've inspired people to dig. Just do a little more digging in anything and whatever you're interested in. I think it's also important to say explore how you actually feel. Yeah,
research.
Yeah, well, like the stereotypes or the status quo, or you know how you feel about yourself, how you feel about your neighbor, and how you think other people think about you. Like, I think sometimes I surprise myself how I let some things make me feel. And I wanted to say earlier, the natives got a pretty thick skin. That's because we were put through the ringer. And I think there's very few natives I've come across that don't have a good sense of humor, and I think that kind of stems from that. Like, you gotta maintain a smile sometimes while you cry. Like, there's been we have a hard history, and it's shared by all of us, and it's like, I think as a result, maybe even a survival mechanism, we grew a sense of humor and a thick skin. So yeah, I was talking about being wounded and re-hurt and, you know, eyes glazing over. But that's just a part of it. Like, I can laugh in the next sentence, you know? And I'm grateful for that. And I'm grateful that when I'm around other natives, I usually hear laughter over anything else. You know? And to all those campaigns to get rid of natives or kill natives or change natives, I like when I see stuff that says, like, hey, we're still here.
Yeah.
Still standing. Still alive. We're not going anywhere.
Yeah. Still exist.
Yeah.
Still here.
And we're part of the picture.
Yeah.
The narrative. The collective memory.
You said it, brother.
You did too, brother.
This is a crazy one.
Yeah, I didn't expect any of this. I think I'm going to hit the button.
Yeah, hit it.
Everybody, thanks for tuning into the Natives in America podcast with me and Sky. And, you know, subscribe, hit the likes, notifications, do all that.
Leave a comment.
Yeah, definitely leave a comment. I would like to hear more about anything we'd speak about. Anything.
Yeah.
I'll read them, like them, and maybe even reply. And I always share it with Sky, so Sky's on board here. All right. So good night, everybody.
Peace.